Hey guys, how you doing? I wanted to do another talking video. Again, another boring talking video. Behind my playing and behind all the Deep Purple madness I've been doing and burning like fire. Here's a song for ya! Behind all that, I'm just a normal YouTuber musician trying to make it big. Nah, I'm kidding. It was a joke. But anyway, I want to do a talking video about. I picked up a couple albums in my to add in my vault of my collection here, and I just kind of wanted to show it off in the video and maybe talk a little bit about it. Maybe talk a little bit about my Deep Purple Mark IV bootlegs that I've been doing. So this video is just mainly about Deep Purple Mark IV, Ian Pace, the bootleg stuff that I've been doing from the Come Taste the Band tour, which was in from 1975 to spring of 76. And just recently I picked up another copy of Deep Purple live at Long Beach Arena. This is a different issue from the ones I've been showing in my other videos. This one was released by Purple Records, if you can see there. And this is like, in my opinion, when it comes to Deep Purple live albums, most people obviously are like huge fans, including myself, are like huge fans of the Made in Japan Deep Purple live album, which is like one of the only, I don't want to say it's the only, but it's probably the greatest Deep Purple live album that's out there from that era of Deep Purple, which was the Mark II, with Ian Gillan, Roger Glover, Ritchie Blackmore, Ian Pace, John Lord. And in my opinion, the Live at the Long Beach show is like the Deep Purple Mark IV version of Made in Japan, because there's only one live album for that lineup that they did, which originally started out as, from the story I read, in a nutshell, because I want to keep this video short. The tapes from the On the Wings of a Russian Foxbat album were originally tapes that were recorded in a very high quality, nice sounding, piece of recording. It was supposed to be used, I think, for like the King Biscuit Flour Hour, which was like some kind of, I think it was like a radio show or something, or I think it was like some kind of radio broadcast show. And from what I read, that the tapes were used to record Deep Purple playing at the time during the Come Taste the Band tour. And I guess they're supposed to be used for like for a King Biscuit Flour Hour show. And then what happened was they ended up either being used or not being used, but the tapes were supposed to be destroyed, which is, I mean, I get it in a way, but in a way it's like, why would you destroy like a band like Deep Purple, like their finest recording? And that night in Long Beach was one of their better shows, from what I read and from what I've heard, because compared to the other bootlegs, they were on fire that night. February 27, 1976. They were on fire. They were phenomenal. They were all on their game that night. And the tapes were recorded during that show. Again, the recordings were supposed to be used for a King Biscuit Flour Hour show, and then they were supposed to be destroyed, because the reason why was because they didn't want anyone to get a hold of them and make a bootleg and get out on the streets and somebody make a lot of money from it and the band makes nothing, I guess. I mean, that's how bootleg works. I mean, the bands don't really make anything on a bootleg, and they probably hate bootlegs because they don't make no money on them. But there's people out there that are collectors or just want to hear Deep Purple like they've never heard before, so they try to get a hold of every tape they can. Then you got the business-oriented side of it, where there's people out there just trying to make a buck. You know, like, people will buy this, you know, like suckers like me. So the tapes were actually somehow found, and that's what happened. There were bootlegs, they were released, and it was like, I mean, obviously from hearing it, it's like the greatest sounding bootleg you've ever heard. And the album wasn't originally released professionally, I don't think, until like 1995. And also with the other tracks that are on this album, which is the Springfield, Massachusetts show, I believe on January 23rd, 1976. Unfortunately, supposedly the full show was recorded, but the tapes were either mixed improperly, or they were lost, or something happened during the recording, and they're gone, they're history. So, and that's why on this album you have the bonus tracks. That's what the bonus tracks are. It's from that other show. The rest of the show, unfortunately, is history. And that's what the Smoke on the Water, and then the Going in the Highway Star, that's from that show, the Springfield, Massachusetts show, January 23rd, 1976. And apparently what I read at that show, Springfield, Massachusetts show, I could be wrong, but from what I read in the credits in one of my other pressings, which I'll show you in a second, the song Coming Home, which was the opening track on Come Taste the Band, apparently was played live. That song was never played live from a lot of the critics and media jumbo mumbo stuff that I've read that's out there floating around, that song was never played live because they just couldn't recreate. It's one of those songs where it was only meant to be a studio track. You can't really, when they played it live, it was missing something, like, which I understand as a musician. Sometimes if you do a song, it's just meant to only be a studio track. For example, like at the time when the Beatles released like Sgt. Pepper, like at the time, Sgt. Pepper or even Magical Mystery Tour, it was only meant to be played in the studio. If they tried playing that live, it would not work. With all the technology they have today, they obviously can play that stuff live, which I think Paul McCartney does stuff like Fixing a Hole, you know, stuff from Sgt. Pepper that he can do today because of the technology and how they mix it. Not to get off topic, but I'm just trying to make an example. So Coming Home on the Come Taste the Band was apparently played at that show, and I heard it was not played well, or it didn't sound good. But again, that's only somebody's opinion that wrote the article in one of the pressings that I'll show you. So here it is. I just picked it up. I wanted to own all the pressings of this album, which I do, except for one. There's one out there with a different, and they all have different covers, different back covers, different casings, and I just wanted to show this one off. This is one of the latest ones I got. Here's the inside. This was released by Purple Records, which is the label that produced a lot of Purple albums, and also any album that was released by anybody from the Purple family, like Coverdale's solo albums, Glenn Hughes' solo albums. They were under the umbrella of the Purple Records family. Great, I love this one because I like the pictures. You can see here Tommy using his 1960 Les Paul that's now owned by Joe Bonamassa with the American flag pick guard on it. And on the pick guard it has the letters F-U-C-K spelled out on it. And then it was scratched out for, had something to do with that, had to be scratched out. Apparently Tommy had to scratch it out because obviously for some kind of show or performance or something, I don't know, so people made a big deal about it. man, here's the booklet. I'll show you the booklet here. Here's the booklet. Great pictures. David Coverdale with his jean jacket. Looks like a jean jacket. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost positive most of these photos, not all of them, but most of them, I believe were from the Long Beach show. So check it out. That is an awesome picture. Ian Pace behind his silver sparkle kit. And I believe, if I'm not, no, never mind, I'm wrong. Never mind. Forget that. But yeah, check out that picture. Tommy with his hat on. There's no pictures on that. That's the last picture. So that's one of the pressings. There you go. Back. Again, Purple Records. Now, I got something special here where I spent a lot of money on this, but I had to get it. And this is the more rare copy of this album on CD, because this is the original replica of the bootleg cover, which I'll talk about in a second here. But I just picked this up, and it was really hard to find, but it's the same album. But here's the original one with the original replica of the bootleg on the wings of a Russian fox bat with the looks like some kind of Asian or some kind of Asia army on there. This is the original bootleg cover, and if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, on the wings of a Russian foxbat, the reason why it has this cover, the cover I think, if I'm not mistaken, almost positive that the album cover has nothing to do with the album, and I think it was supposed to be a cover-up for a bootleg cover because they couldn't show the band or something, I don't know. So they just found this weird picture of these Asian soldiers, and then there was also a picture of a jet on it, which you'll see on one of the other pressings I have. The Fox Bat was actually a fighter jet. I think like some Asian Air Force. There's a fighter jet called the Fox Bat, which was named after a actual fox bat, which is an animal. I think it's like the largest bat. So the airplane was named after the bat, I assume, and then they named the album after the jet. And it has nothing to do with the album. Like the stuff that Deep Purple were singing about and writing about really, I don't think had anything to do with politics or war. They just weren't that kind of band. But it was like a cover-up album sleeve. There's different issues out there, pressings on the bootlegs, where some of them have a blue cover. It's blue. Some of them I've seen a green one. I've seen a red one. And this one, if you look at it, says Deep Purple live at Long Beach, while the original bootleg said on the wings of a Russian fox bat. So I just want to point that out there. And I love the packaging they did with this. By the way, this is a 2009 release, and this one is really hard to find, but this is really neat. It has all these pictures of all the tickets, or a handful of all these tickets from the Come Taste the Band tour. Those are real tickets and real dates, which is really neat. Looks like it has like an article here, maybe from like Melody Maker. or some kind of music magazine. Purple album and world tour, which I'm not going to read because I want to save some time. Here's the packaging. Here's the 2 CDs inside. Here's the back. And then there's these really cool photos underneath the disc, which I've actually never even seen before. So we got this one right here. I've never seen that picture before of Tommy. Here he is with his hat on. Hope you can see that. Black and white picture. Pretty neat. So I want to show that off, and then we'll show the booklet here. This was, like I said, I spent a lot of money on this one. I think, here's the booklet that comes with it. I think it's the same booklet as the other one. I think it's the same exact pictures and information as the other one. Let's see here. Yeah, it's the same thing. Just to save time, I'm not going to show you again. It's the same booklet. Here's the back. So really, it's like you're paying for the box sleeve for this one. But again, same album with the bonus tracks. There's the back there. And also on this issue and this one, they fixed the typos, which I'll get to in a second. They put Homeward Strut. They did not put the grind, which is correct on here and on this one. There you go. Very cool. It's the same album, just different pressings, different sleeves. This one is probably the best one because this is the original bootleg sleeve. There you go. And then this one you might have seen in one of my remakes of this show that I did on the drums. This is another issue that I picked up a couple months ago. If you want to see more about this one and the booklet and all, check out my other videos for this show that I did. By the way, I did this show twice, if you notice on my channel. The first I had really long hair and the sound quality wasn't that great. That was before I started recording my drums the new way. So I wanted to revise some of my recordings with a little bit of a nicer sound. Here's the sleeve. It's also a 2 CD one. I'm not going to take the booklet out. Check out those other videos if you want to see the booklet. But different cover. Same show again. And this one also has a typo on the back. They spelled Tommy wrong. They spelled it T-O-M-Y, not T-O-M-M-Y. And coming out of lazy, you know, they would go into Homeward Strut. Well, on here, they put the grind. It's not the grind. It's Homeward Strut. And if you notice in the subject line of some of my videos for that song, I put in like little stars next to Homeward Strut. I put the grind because I put the typo in on the subject line on purpose. This is the other issue. This was my first one I got. The extended versions, which they make all kind of live CDs from all kind of bands. I love that picture, by the way, on the front. And this one is that. You've seen this in the other videos like 100 times. I always love this picture. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that photo was taken right there in Japan when they were over in Japan, I think. Because David Coverdale is wearing like that dragon-looking dress or something, and Ian Pace has a purple jacket on or something, or a button down, and has something, some kind of Asian lettering on it. So that's that one. We already talked about that. And then here's my favorite one with the big jewel case, old school. We don't even do that anymore. On the wings of a Russian fox bat, which you've seen this a million times in my videos. I'm not going to take the booklet out. This one also has the typo where they spelled Tommy wrong. Or, I'm sorry, no, this one they spelled Tommy right, but again they put the grind instead of Homeward Strut after lazy. And what's cool about this one is that this, I guess I'll take it out. Let's take it out. Here's the jet in the back, the fox bat. But we'll fast forward real quick. Where am I at in this video here? 21 minutes. Alright. Real fast. On the last page on the booklet, they have the tour dates. I believe the U.S. tour dates. Which is kind of hard to probably make out on the camera. And my neighbor was at the January 18th show at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, which I did that bootleg as well, so check it out on my channel. It's not my favorite one that I did. That was the guinea pig show that I did. That was the first hour and a half, one take sit-in that I did, doing a whole Deep Purple bootleg recording of a concert. So it was rough, but I had a lot of fun doing it. It was fun. Doing the bootlegs are fun. Some of them I've stated in my other video that the performances are better than others. But again, take into consideration they're bootlegs. It's hard to hear. I get lost. You just have to kind of keep that in mind. But you know, they're a lot of fun to play along to. Unfortunately, we don't have the recordings that we want in that really nice. I wish like every show sounded like this, you know, but they don't. But we're lucky to at least have a lot of the bootlegs, and really happy to have the one in my hometown here in Philadelphia at the Spectrum, which they played really good at that show, by the way. I thought that was one of their better shows. They tore that up. They played very well. So, and the other thing I want to talk about with live albums, most times, not just with Purple, but any live album for a lot of bands, I found out that they would take certain songs, or they would take half the track from one show, half the track of another show of the same song, tie it together. Maybe one show Deep Purple played really well, the other show, and they messed up a lot. So if you look at my channel, it kind of has that kind of pattern, which is more realistic. There's going to be some performances that are better than others because I only want to do it in one take. So if there was a song that I did that, in regards to the Purple stuff I've been doing, the bootlegs, if there's a song that I really screwed up heavy on, I just butchered it, maybe I played that song better at the next bootleg show that I did. So I want to keep the mistakes in there in the bootlegs because, you know, that's what makes it kind of realistic. And when you start to look at all the bootlegs that I did, the Purple stuff, you start to kind of put together like, oh yeah, that version of the Burn at Spectrum, I did that really good, but did not do that song very good at, like, I don't know, the Auckland show, for example. So I left the mistakes in there, and I didn't want to edit and redo over and over again, you know, to try to get it perfect, because it wasn't meant to be that. It's a bootleg anyway, so it sounds like shit anyway. So it's really hard to make out And I stated this in my videos, but I noticed on the Mark IV Purple bootlegs I've been doing that the song Smoke on the Water, there's always something missing in there. And the Philadelphia version is butchered. It's horrible. It like loops the guitar solo and the organ solo like twice. Like it's like out of order. Like somebody cut the tape and they like taped it here and then took this part and taped there. It's all out of order. And if you see me play it, it's like it's just a train wreck. It just. But again, it's a bootleg. So when I was in the situation of playing it, it was just like, sorry, I gotta just go with it. So there's no editing or anything like that. So again, take in consideration, they're bootlegs, they're hard to hear. Don't just watch and say, this guy sucks, he stinks, he can't play. Or again, it's a bootleg. You sit here, try doing all that in one take, and you'll see how easy it is, and it's not. But it's a lot of fun playing it, and I hope you guys enjoy watching them. And thanks for checking out the videos. I'm trying to think if I left anything out. I guess that's it for now. By the way, speaking of the live albums, not to get off topic, I want to jam this in real quick. The Made in Japan album during the Mark II era, there's different releases. Maybe I'll do this in another video, but real quick, that's an example of a live album. The gold copy of Made in Japan with the Mark II Purple, when you listen to it, you think you're listening to one show. It's not. There were actually recordings picked from a series of 3 different nights. But when you listen to it, you think you're listening to the most perfect Deep Purple concert. It's not. It's actually each song or takes or pieces from the different nights were picked, and it was tied together to sound like a perfect Deep Purple live concert. Let me tell you, with any band, especially Deep Purple, like that were playing extremely heavy and very lengthy and these long improvs, you didn't know where the show was going to go. So my point is that a lot of these heavy bands played a lot of good shows and they played a lot of bad shows as well. And you just didn't know what you were going to get when you went to a concert, I guess, for watching a band like Purple. Or just any band in general. I mean, things happen. Guitar string breaks, you drop the drumstick, which I've done, I love that when that happens. Sticks break. Today I had a stick break and it hit me in the eye. I had to stop the whole recording. And, but, that's what keeps it realistic. You get all the mistakes in there. But Made in Japan was an example of a series of 3 shows, different takes and tapes from the 3 different nights. Like maybe Highway Star on first night maybe wasn't as good, so they don't pick that to put on the album. They pick the second night version. Stuff like that. So basically what I'm doing everything in between. I'm not just doing the album versions. I like to do the full shows, mistakes, technical difficulties, editing, no editing, me getting angry on camera. It's all there, baby, so check it out. So thanks again, and we'll end this with a little sip of Flying Dog Tropical Biatch beer. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next videos. Thanks for checking out the channel and subscribing, and stay safe. Rockstars92 signing out. Thank you. Oh yeah, cheers. Here's a song for ya! Oh yeah, by the way, speaking of Whitesnake, apparently they had to end their tour because they possibly have COVID, but they didn't really say they had COVID. They just said they had some, they were feeling under the weather or something. I assume it was probably COVID, stuff, but I could be wrong. What do I know? It's not like I'm hanging out with David Coverdale every day. But it's unfortunate they had to end their farewell tour a little bit early and cancel the European dates, I think it was. But just wanted to get that out there. So thanks again, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.